This video will constitute a review of many concepts involving similarity, congruence, and proofs. Let's take a look at this first problem. What is the measure of angle PHJ? So there's P, there's H, there's J. So this is angle PHJ right here. Okay, and that ink is a little too thick, so I need to calm that down real quick. Alright, so this is what we're trying to find. So what are we going to do? Well, here's one thing. If you adjust your eyesight just for a minute. In fact, quick side concept. When you have intersecting lines like this, it creates pairs of angles called vertical angles. So these angles that are across from each other are vertical angles, and they are always equal. So if this was 30 degrees, this would be 30 degrees. Okay, at the same time, the other pair of angles, these are also vertical angles. So if this was 100 degrees, this would also be 100 degrees because vertical angles are equal. So I'm mentioning that now because if you look at it just right, you can see that we have a pair of vertical angles right here. See these intersecting lines? That means that these are vertical angles. So this angle and this angle, okay, those are vertical angles. So since the upper angle is 140, that means the lower angle is also 140. So this is 140 degrees total. So you see that one part of it is 20. That means the other part must be 120, okay, for a total of 140. So that's the angle that we were actually looking for. Alright, so 120 degrees is the answer. Kabam! Alright, let's look at the next one. What must be the value of x so that the lines C and D are parallel lines cut by transversal P? Well, when you have same side interior angles like these, alright, see this little basket that I'm drawing around this? When you have two angles nestled inside of the basket like this, if these are parallel lines, then these two angles have to be supplementary. So for example, if I had one of these baskets and let's say this was x and this was y, then x plus y would have to equal 180 degrees. Okay, so that means that the sum of these two angles is 180 degrees. So 3x plus 45 plus 81 has to equal 180. So let's combine like terms. So 3x plus 126 is equal to 180. And now let's subtract 126 from both sides. So 3x is equal to 54. And then it's time to divide both sides by 3. So x is equal to 18. So that's what we were being asked to find. What is the value of x? So this must be the answer right here. And there you go. Alright, this question is asking which pair of angles is supplementary. So before I even analyze the options here, here are two major ways that you get supplementary angles. One of them I just spoke of in the last problem. If I have a pair of angles inside of this box, these are going to be supplementary. So watch out for this. This is called same side interior angles. So if I see this, supplementary. The other very common way of forming supplementary angles is if you have a straight line and you split it up into two angles, these angles will be supplementary. So this angle and this angle will be supplementary. Okay, if we were talking about a triangle, all three angles add up to 180, but we're just dealing with pairs. So let's see if either one of these two situations happens. So we have angle RXZ. So here's angle RXZ. And then we have angle YXZ. So angle YXZ. Well, that's this situation. These two angles together form a straight line. So they are supplementary. So immediately we get the correct answer right off the bat. Kabam! Now, if you selected this third option, let's just look at that one and see why that one is not going to be supplementary. So we have angle YZX. So angle YZX is right here. And then we have angle UZT. So angle UZT. Well, these angles are vertical angles, so they are equal. But there's nothing that tells us that they will add up to 180, which is what supplementary means. Given the information in the diagram, which theorem best justifies why lines E and F must be parallel? Well, before I look too closely at the options, I see that the two angles that they gave us are same side interior angles. Again, they're inside the box, like we've seen on a couple of other problems. So these two angles would be supplementary only if the lines are parallel. But these are called same side interior. So if I see that, then that's going to be the answer. But we have to be careful on this particular problem, because I see two choices that mention same side interior angles. Alright, we have the same side interior angle theorem, and then we have the converse of the same side interior angle theorem. So it's going to be one of these two. So how do I know which one it is? Well, the same side interior angle theorem says if the lines are parallel, then and I'm just going to put SSI for same side interior angles are supplementary. Okay, so if the lines are parallel, then the angles are supplementary. The converse of this would say, it would say it the other way around. The converse would say, if same side interior angles are supplementary, then the lines are parallel. So the question is, which are we given and which are we trying to guess? If we're given parallel lines and we're trying to conclude that the angles are supplementary, then the first one will be the answer. If we're given same side interior angles that are supplementary and we're trying to conclude that the lines are parallel, then the answer will be the converse. So let's see, which given the information in the diagram, which justifies why lines E and F are parallel. So you see, we're trying to determine and justify that the lines are parallel. What we're given are same side interior angles that are supplementary. So we're given this, and we're trying to conclude this. So this is the converse. So that's why this last choice is the answer. Okay. Okay, in the diagram, angle TRV, okay, so angle TRV is congruent to angle VRW. Is congruent to angle VR, you know what, let me change colors. Is congruent to VRW. So there's only one way that these two angles can be congruent. See how they form a straight line? They have to add up to 180 degrees. So if these are equal to each other, it has to be 180 degrees divided by 2. So that's 90. So these have to be right angles. That's the only way they can be equal. So what is the measure of angle SRT? Okay, so angle SRT is this angle right here. Well, if these angles are 90-degree angles, then all of these angles have to be 90-degree angles. So angle SRT right here is also a right angle. So 90 degrees is the answer. Alright, parallel lines cut by a transversal. What is the value of M? Once again, we are looking at a pair of same side interior angles. Alright, the two angles nestled inside the box must be supplementary. They have to add up to 180. So 78 plus M must equal 180. Subtracting 78 from both sides, M must equal 102. So this is the answer right here. Alrighty then. What new angle is created by extending one side of a triangle? See how they've taken a triangle and they've extended it? We had these three interior angles, but by extending one side of the triangle, we get something called an exterior angle. Okay, you could call it, well, you know what, there it is right there, an exterior angle. This is the answer. That's all there is to it.
Wow.
Two parallel lines, E and F, are crossed by two transversals. What is the measure of angle number 15? Okay, so look, if they give us one angle, they've really given us everything. Before we handle this problem, just real quick, if you have two parallel lines cut by a transversal, okay, these are parallel, corresponding angles are equal. Corresponding angles. See how this angle is in the upper right hand corner? Looking at this set of four, this angle is also in the upper right hand corner. So they are corresponding angles. So let's say that this angle is 10, then this angle will also be 10. They are corresponding angles. Now, also you have vertical angles though. So vertical angles are equal. So this angle right here will be a vertical angle. So if this is 10, then this will also be 10. Same thing down here. If this is 10, then this will also be 10. So by giving you one angle, I automatically gave you 4. But now let's talk about supplementary. See how, for example, these two angles up here, together they form a straight line. Together they have to add up to 180 degrees. So if this smaller angle, if this acute angle is 10, then this must be 170 because they have to add up to 180. But then again, we have these corresponding angles. See how this is in the upper left hand corner? This is also in the upper left hand corner of its group. So these are corresponding angles. So if this is 170, this is 170. And then we've got the vertical angles happening again. If this is 170, this is 170. If this is 170, this is 170. So by giving you one angle, you can very quickly find all 8 by using corresponding angles, vertical angles, and supplementary angles. Okay, so that is what's happening on this problem. Okay, so they gave us the 97. They gave us this angle right here. So this is 97. So let's find all of the angles that are 97. So, well, let's start with corresponding angles. If this is 97, then this will be 97, because those are corresponding angles. Now let's do vertical angles. If this is 97, then this will be 97, because vertical angles. If this is 97, then this will be 97. Same reason, vertical angles are equal. Now, if I needed to, I could use supplementary angles, and I could subtract 97 from 180, and I could find out what the rest of these angles are. But they asked us to find the measure of angle 15, and we've already found it because you see it's right here. So angle 15 is 97. So there's your answer. Oh, well, looks like that was actually the last problem.